What's up? What's up? What is up? Another episode of the Ball Hawk Sports Talk coming to you. We here on a Friday, another opportunity to get together and record. You know this thing, the experience called the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. We are about to embark on the summer edition of the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. We've got this episode going by the sights and sounds of summer. We've got two of the crew in the building. We've got sports, business, entertainment. We've got the sunshine is out. We've got sports coming to an absolute peak because it's almost U.S. I'll say Summer Olympics. I ain't gonna call it U.S. Olympics. And all of that. I made it.
Got the South Florida Olympics coming up.
You already know. And all of that is giving us the groundwork and the opportunity to do what we do. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk business. We're going to talk entertainment. And we're going to do it to you here in a second. So no further ado, boys and girls, dogs and frogs, cats and rats, make sure that you pull up a chair. Make sure that you stay tuned. Make sure that you get you a nice tall cup of coffee because the Ball Hawk Sports Talk is coming to you. So let's go. Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Because this is the Ball Hawk Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go. Once again, it's on, man. I get to be in front of this microphone, and we've been away for 2 summers because sometimes in the summer, everybody needs a little rest and recovery. And we are refreshed, re-energized, and we are recommitted to bringing you the best of sports, the best of business, the best of entertainment. You know what it is. It's the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. And 2 of us in the building, man. I got my man, the thou who shall be, known and intergalactically respected as. When you say it with your chest. He is the Big Flow Shows in the building. What's up, my brother?
What's good? What's good, America? How we doing today? It's been a while. I feel a little rusty. I gotta, you know what I mean? What do you gotta do out there? What do we have to do? When you come out, you get that one race at the family reunion. You know, it's been a while. You got to do the twist too. You got to get the twist.
Yeah,
and then you still pull your hamstring. So, guys, if I pull my hamstring today, I don't want anybody clowning me. I'm gonna put it all on the line. I'm gonna give it all. I'm gonna give you guys all I have. So, if there's any pulled hamstrings on the show today, I just need a pass. That's all I can say.
Hey, man, I love the fact that you are willing to sacrifice your hamstring for said hypothetical race at the family reunion. The little nephew done challenged you, and you really believe that you still got it. I would pay to see that. But they gonna pay. They ain't gotta pay nothing. Just step up and make sure you pay attention to see what we got going on today, man. Let's make sure that we rock and roll in summer fashion, man. It is the sights and sound of summer episode of the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. And let's get moving, man. I know you're out there in Chicago. And when you think sights and sounds of summer, you think of Chicago. They call Chicago the premier, the best summer city. And they being people in Chicago, but some of us at least acknowledge that they got some good things in Chicago. So what's going on in the best, according to y'all, summer city, a.k.a. Chicago? What are the sights and sounds of Chicago going on right now before we get into sports, business, entertainment? Bring us live from Chicago. People talk about all the gun violence. They talk about all of the hawk and wind in the summer. In the winter. Let's celebrate the exciting sights and sounds of Chicago.
You know, you come to Chicago in the summertime, you might as well go to Malibu. I mean, it's the middle coast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's as beautiful as you want. I don't really surf. I don't think you could quite surf at our beach. But you're not gonna get bit by a shark.
You ain't gonna get bit by a
No
shark.
jellyfish.
None of that.
We don't have any gators.
Safe waters. You might get shot. No, I ain't gonna do
the only bears there are the ones that are in the stands. They're the ones that you can watch from the stands. So we don't have any wildlife that'll get you. We have some mean raccoons, but we don't have any wildlife that'll get you. So I would argue that in the summertime we are better than Malibu. But
did you or did you not? And do Chicagoans attend the Taste of Chicago?
So Taste of Chicago is one of those things that, like, when you're, which I give it, like, do people in Orlando go to Disney? Probably not.
Probably,
you know what I'm saying?
Probably not. Fair.
So,
very fair.
When I was in college, people like yourself would come up and be like, "Man, let's go to the Taste." Okay, I'll go to the Taste.
I feel like you just call me you people. You people
that are not from Chicago. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
You people that are from Florida. When you came up here from Florida, you heard about the Taste, and you're like, "Man, let's go to the Taste." So I would be excited to bring you out to the Taste to show you my city. So let's go to the Taste.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not bringing somebody there, most Chicagoans don't go, because, like, when I was young and I went to the Taste, there was really some food I had never had before. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, wow, I've never had this. This is fantastic. But, like, now I can go to that restaurant. So it's just kind of overpriced tastes of restaurants. But there's musical events and stuff like that. It's kind of hot and crowded, which is not two things that I like to, to associate myself with. It's hot and crowded. But the Taste Chicago, I would say, if you're not from here and you visit here, it's a great place to go. We've got, like, I think it's Jazz Fest that we have down there that people really like. We do a lot with the Millennium Park and the Bean, all the type of things. Boat tour, architectural boat tour. Yeah, you think that you wouldn't like it, but you'll like it. We got a lot of history. Talk about it. It's fantastic. Eating on the lake. I had a steak on the lake, or a steak on the river last night, overlooking everything, watching boats go by. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, here is where we are as businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
Because you talked about in college, people wanting to come over to Chicago and get a taste of the Taste of Chicago. See what I did there?
I saw.
But as grown men in our professional lives, the taste of the summer has been the new video game that EA Sports came out with. And that video game has taken over a lot of our lives. People that you would consider contemporaries, businessmen that are in their 40s and 50s, have stayed up all night trying to play this game. A lot of people stayed up trying to play this EA Sports college football game. And this nostalgia of this game coming back has been pretty impressive. It has been the talk of the gaming world. It has taken over a lot of conversations in barbershops. And don't you dare talk about this game in a college locker room. Every college player seems to be playing this game for no other reason but to see themselves on the game, which is really cool. I wanted to at least play the trailer because it's taken over. This game, a reboot. I remember they had it. I think it was called Bill Walsh College Football back then. They don't have a coach attached to it now, but same concept, college football. And here's the trailer. Let's bring it in.
Finally, it is here. You can take all that just another game stuff and throw it out. The eyes of the nation are on this field today, and that's what these players live for.
already was intrigued by the fact that they brought this game back. I got out of gaming a long time ago, but I became more intrigued because while the trailer is amazing, I think seeing how realistic games are, video games are these days, made me feel old. But seeing the college atmosphere, seeing how they took what is unique to each one of these college programs, seeing how they took the rosters and really invested a lot into the data, into the graphics, seeing how the college players themselves are now really responding to the game and overwhelmingly positive to the game. I gotta say, this seems like a home run. What do you think from each one of those angles? So many of our friends and contemporaries have talked about playing this game. The day it came out, over the last 10 days or so, when the game finally was revealed, I think it was within this week actually, there are several 40 and 50-year-olds talking about how they didn't sleep. They had to get coffee because they were up all night playing this game. The sights and sounds of summer start with college football. It starts with college football 25. What do we think about college football 25? Is it enough to get me back into gaming?
It's amazing. Obviously, just seeing it happen in general, just kind of like, after this whole NIL thing has just come out, it's like the timing is fantastic, right? Here it comes. NIL is boom. Everyone's known you can make some bread, and then boom, you get yourself immortalized in the game. And I think that's the way I would say is like the kids feel immortalized. They've been playing video games forever, and now they know all over the country, all over the world, people can see their name, play with them, and do whatever.
Because back then it was just a number. When I was playing, I played college football, they just knew they received the number. But now it's because of name, image, and likeness, you can use the college players' names.
Now the likeness is the so they just, like, for my son who's in the game, they just grabbed any black guy. Like, it's not his skin tone. He's got a beard. The dude's got dread. Just throw a picture. Any black kid, throw it up there. That's him.
And that's him. Right?
I just feel like I mean, they paid everybody, it's like $600, and they gave him a free copy of the game, right? Or 2 free copies of the game.
So that was a part of the agreement with college football, is that each player received $600.
Now, I don't know if some of these people got more, like the kids, like Edwards and those guys who are on the cover. Ewers,
there were guys on the cover. Yep,
those guys probably got more money, but like just the common folk got $600.
$600. All you had to do was be on the roster.
Yeah, so they did 85 people per roster. A couple guys got shorted, so some guys didn't make it. I don't know if they just didn't sign their paperwork in time. You don't really want to ask the question because it's kind of a sore subject. But a couple guys that I know on Reg's team are not on the game.
Not on the game. Okay.
That maybe they didn't get their paperwork in or do whatever because they signed this stuff a while ago. This is like 3-4 months ago. So they loaded all the names and all the data in there, but they didn't load the pictures, which I thought would have been, I guess that would have been a big job, but it still would have been like nice to have it like somewhat look like your kid. When I say it looks
like it would be easy to do in 2024 with the images, but
you have all the programs
and make them come to reality, because the game looks like it's real life.
But like, okay, so for instance, my son is a fast kid, and he's a strong kid. So like his attributes have him fast and have him like he's the strongest receiver on the team, and he's the strongest receiver in the game on the team.
So you think the attributes are accurate? Why not make the image accurate?
Why not make? I mean, like you went through the trouble to find out. Did you ask them who's the strongest receiver? Do you have? Like, was that on some sort of a stat sheet somewhere? But like I guess I don't know. I've never played the game, but like his strength is like 75, and he said 79 is the highest that anyone has. So I'm like, okay, you went and did that. So
you did some research.
Yeah, you did some research. Why not just the headshots there? The images are there. Now, you're just going to take them and digitize them and make them somewhat similar. With AI, you would think that, it would probably take a couple months to get it done, but it might have been worth the effort. It would have been kind of cool. But, it's been nice watching people post all their kids' pictures on Facebook and showing how they're out there. My son got a couple messages, which has been cool from strangers saying, "Hey, I played with your character in the game. You scored me 3 touchdowns. I'm riding your player. You're a beast in this game, blah, blah, blah." So that's been kind of a cool moment for a kid.
That would be cool because someone else is playing with you. The challenge that I had back in the day, now, if you guys didn't hear, I started off with, is this game good enough to get me back into gaming? But when I was gaming back in the day, whenever I would play the college football game, I did not want to play with Notre Dame because inevitably I would be very tunnel visioned. I'm throwing the ball to 88. I don't care. And everybody knows it. So I'm giving away any competitive advantage because just human nature. We have faith in ourselves. Like,
and you don't want to give anybody on the team the respect of riding them into the championship.
And I didn't know why Coach Holtz didn't follow my game plan. It's like, throw it to 88. Has your son talked about playing the game with his teammates and that feeling of, it's pretty cool to see you catching the ball on the video game because you know all the hard work that you put into it. And I guess that's why I kept throwing the ball to myself. But fast forward 2024, have you talked to him about sort of how they tee up the game, play with one another, play the game against one another, and interact with one another?
I haven't yet. So my son's not a gamer. So he didn't even have a PlayStation. We had to get him one like for his birthday. Like the day before the game came out, we got him one because his birthday, he's going to turn 21 here in a couple weeks. But
happy early birthday.
He's not a gamer, so this is the only game he owns, actually. So this is the only thing he's got. So he hasn't really talked about it much to find out. He just sent me those little things. I ask him about it, as it goes. But I saw one of my buddies. Shout out to one of your bros. Maceo Tillman, he sent me a picture or a video of his son, like the replay of his son scoring the touchdown, the replay of him, whatever. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like,
I've enjoyed it. I've seen other people do that on social media, post either the player post them. Like I've seen Travis Hunter was a good one. They talked about Travis Hunter playing with Shiloh and Shador Sanders and their interaction with the game. And, Shiloh having all of these picks, these interceptions. Somebody saying, man, you don't high point every doggone interception, but it's got to be cool to see yourself in the game. Shout out to EA Sports. Shout out to the idea of name, image, and likeness, getting over that hurdle, and now these players being able to play the game. I'll give you final word on it as a review. Is this the highlight in terms of sights and sounds of the summer? This video game, bringing out the young folk that can watch them play, and the people on college campuses that are still gamers and being connected, right? It's like, yeah, I want to play with whatever team, fill in the blank where you go to school. I'm in history class with that dude. I'm in biology with that dude. And also at the same time, having a bookended approach because old dudes like us and the nostalgia of playing that game again has brought us out of the woodworks to play it. I might even go get me a gaming system. Do you think I should play it based on early reviews before we move on?
I mean, I think it's just like anything else. It's pretty cool to watch. You know what I mean? I think we don't have the game here at the house. I would like to get the game and just play it one time and go. I told my son, I gave him a roster of all the guys that we know well. He's either played with or we just know the families real well. And there was 6-7 on defense, and there was more on our. I found out how many receivers we know. We have a lot of receivers that we would have to pick up. I said, why don't you go put them in the portal and get them all in one squad and play? And that's something I would love to go see. Just throw it to this dude, whatever. Like anything else, if you get used to it, it starts to wane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You hope next year they get you a little bit better to make you a little sweeter and do whatever. But everybody was a little kid once just playing the video game, and to see yourself on it. I mean, in PlayStation, or I don't know what it was, 93 or 94 or whatever, I was like one of the D linemen in there. If you put the subs in, not that anybody. I was like, who's
the original PlayStation? You ain't got to add no number to it. Which one? PS?
PlayStation.
No, just PS. PS. It's just PS.
They didn't even put the full words on it. But I was like, who subs out their D line? But like, if you subbed out the D line, my number was on there. Somebody told me about it. I think I saw it once, and it was like, all right, what am I going to just rush?
Hey, we're all self-interested, man. I coach youth sports.
It's cool.
I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do for a team. Every parent seems to come from a very narrow lens, right? It's how it affects their kids. Sights and sounds of summer. One of the sights of summer, you asked me in the beginning, we're in the green room. You say, man, you've been to the hospital. I kept all of these badges of honor on my hand because this is a sight of summer.
For sure.
That comes with the sound of normally a ridiculous amount of money to get in these tournaments. And so today, in this sights and sounds of summer episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk, I want to take a brief but meaningful moment of silence. I want to pause to give emphasis to the cause of being a sports parent. For all the people that throughout the summer, I got Ball on the Beach on here, I got a track meet on here, I got AAU Basketball Nationals on here. For the money that we spent, I had to travel to get down there. In most cases, you got to fly. I had to go to Florida twice. Some cases, you got to drive up to Timbuktu. And when you get there, after spending all that money on the flight and on the gas and the driving cases, needing to get a hotel room, lodging, anytime it's nationals, it's several days, most times a week. So you got a minimum of 4-night stay. You got to buy food every doggone city you go to. For all of the people that have done it, I just want to say we appreciate you. Here on the Ball Hog Sports Talk, where sports, business, and entertainment collide, there's no business booming better than youth sports, because they got us by the doggone neck, choking us every time we go to one of these tournaments. So shout out, sports parents. Wear your badges of honor. People keep asking me, when you going to take them off? I'm going to take them off when I'm good and ready. I pay
Man, you never know. You never know what color they're looking for. You might go to a tournament next year. They got orange. What they
got? Turn it quick. I got orange. I got pink. I got red. What you need?
Hey, it's hard for me sometimes, if I'll be honest. It's hard for me sometimes not to try to hustle. That's how I became a coach. Cheapness became basketball coach. So I never, I'm not really, my basketball background is limited. So I used to walk up and say, I'm a coach. No one ever asked me if I was a basketball coach. I was a football coach. I just said, I'm a coach.
I'm a coach.
And they would let me walk in. And then one day I went to this tournament. I had been saying I'm a coach so long. And then I just go sit in the stands and stuff. And then I saw this lady kind of get up and follow me. So I went and just sat on the bench. Right. I'm like, I'm not going to get embarrassed and get thrown out of here. Right. So I sat on the bench. And the guy who coached the basketball team was a guy I coached football with. All the guys on the basketball team were guys on our football team. So I just sat on the bench. He looked at me. He didn't say nothing. And I said, hey, no, I told him I was a coach. I need to be in here. So I'm in there, whatever. And then I just kind of kept doing it. And then I just kind of started coaching. I just started helping. I was kind of like a get back coach, though. Get your man. Get back, OD.
Get back. Everybody needs to get back, coach.
Get back.
If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to Google it. There is a mom that was spotted because she did not want to be the victim. I'm a victim. You ask me what hey, man, you been in the hospital? I might as well been. I've been the victim of a robbery.
What's your deductible on basketball games?
They steal it from my pockets. But the mom, and I challenge you all to go find the image. I tried to look for it real quick. But the mom decided to dress up in a basketball uniform. You at least said you were a coach. Here's this middle-aged woman in a basketball uniform. She took it to the next level. I guess they were playing in the home jersey. She dressed up in the away uniform and decided, I'm not paying to get in. And technically, that is very wrong. That's criminal. That is some form of fraudulent behavior.
I'm letting you in just because you were willing to look like an idiot.
30-something-year-old woman, 40-something-year-old woman in an AAU basketball uniform. But each one of these is a badge of honor or dishonor. When I got to the doggone front gate for Ball on the Beach, $65. They charge in some cases in some tournaments for a weekend $100. This is the Ball Hog Sport Talk where sports, business, entertainment collide. The business end of this doggone youth sports thing. God bless y'all, man. Y'all figured it out. You win, we lose. We all just figure out, we're going to get second mortgages. So that's why I wore these, man, on behalf of all the parents.
Man, that's about $300 worth of jewelry on your arm right now.
$300 worth of you. And
take that little cheap rope thing off. Whoever brought you that, take that little that thing off.
The one that actually means something.
Ooh, there's a fourth one. You got a hidden one for purple.
I got one. There's orange, 2, another orange, 3, and a red.
You know what you should
4.
do? Every time your kids ask for ice cream this summer, you just hold the arm. So you got your ice cream right here.
Right. It reminds me of the sacrifice we make. Every time my son, and I'm doing something similar to that,
rocking those.
They get mad that I'm waking up and let's get these shots up before football camp. This is why. I paid for this. You got to do what I asked you to do.
Do you ever get mad when you go there and you give them like $30 to get in and they take that little marker and just do this? You'd be like,
I paid you $30 for that.
For that? You couldn't have invested in a little bracelet or something, make me feel like I'm doing something? Now I got to be careful when I wash my hand in the bathroom. Huh? Come on, man. And I'm like, man, why did somebody tell me they were doing it? Because I tell you, I'll hustle you at your little $10. I'll be honest with you. I try to be honest.
You one of the people, like the guy in the club. Sometimes you want to get in free just for the art of getting in free. $10, I'm willing to pay that. But $100 for a basketball tournament,
I don't care, tacky or not. One time we were in Indianapolis, one of our friends, Brian Hamilton, who's way too honest of a person for me. I said, man, stay here. I'm going to get you a bracelet. He's like, no, I'm going to pay. Now I feel better, man. I feel because he only wanted to come to one game. I will feel better if I go get you a bracelet and you come in this thing on the hustle. Yeah. And then I'll feel like
as a friend of yours, I feel like that's
and just the fact that you paying to be here, and you shouldn't have to pay $40 to come watch my daughter hit the volleyball 3 or 4 times. I'm going to get you a plate. He insisted on paying. I was mad at him. Let me get you a bracelet. I will feel better, man. I feel like at least we got them a little bit because I already had to pay $1,000 for her to be in this damn tournament anyway, right? Or whatever the hell the money was.
Off top. That's off top. Give me that first $1,000.
That doesn't come with 2 bracelets.
No.
The entry fee doesn't come with 2 bracelets.
It don't come. It comes with 0 bracelets, and that's why I wanted to.
A Happy Meal comes with French fries and a toy, a toy.
We in this case, my friend, we are the toy. They are toying with our pockets. They're toying with our emotions. We all think our kids are going to get that Division I scholarship. We all think our kids are going to the NBA. And what do? These tournament organizers, they play on that, such that you got to pay $100 to watch 2 days of basketball. And in most cases, it doesn't even include the cost of parking. When you're driving out, they tell you $10 for parking. It doesn't include a single meal. They're going to have a concession stand. They're going to have a concession stand that your kid is going to go to 18 million times, ask you for water, chips, any doggone thing. And for all of the people that have been victimized this summer, and I guess this summer it just really came to my attention, it is one of the prominent sights and sounds of summer because now they can get you for the whole week. And they call it the Junior Olympics. They call it Nationals. They call it World Championship.
Somebody needs to copyright Nationals and be a little stingy when they put out. Because they'll call you National Champ. 7-on-7 got 35 national championships during the season. 7-on-7. But they also will fix your lips. One thing I got with these complaints, the parking terrible. Louisville's another one's bad. They charge you $50 to park. Where's the rapid transit stop? Nothing. I got to park here. You're not walking distance to anything. So I have to park my car here. I'm stuck. Where's the street parking? You're done. And then they will fix their lips and say, no outside food.
No outside food.
I'm not a violent man, but I'll shake.
And we'll have somebody there whose job is to make sure they look in your bag so you ain't got a free water. for I don't know who we talk to, which congressperson that we talk to. Yeah. But this has got to stop.
Legislation, for sure.
It's got to be legislation.
We are in an election year. Trump, Biden, you want my vote? You got to make free parking at all the youth sports, at least. Free
and you got to cut the cost of these tournaments.
2 free bracelets every time your kid's playing. You get 2 free bracelets. 2.
If I walked into the club with these bracelets on, I get laughed out of it. Like, that boy cheap. But what you don't realize is this is about $300 worth.
That's bottle service.
Bottle service, man.
Gatorade. It might be Gatorade, but that's bottle service.
But no. Look, I make fun of it, but you think about there are some articles out there talking about the astronomical cost of youth sports and how, from a socioeconomic standpoint, there's a whole wave of communities that are being priced out. Volleyball is worse than basketball. Basketball is all-inclusive because they have sponsors a lot of times. They've got either a sponsor on your team or a sponsor of a tournament. So some of the young student athletes that are more disadvantaged when it comes to their socioeconomics and their household income still get to experience it. But there are sports like tennis. There are sports like volleyball, golf, that it seems inequitable that the kids can't even participate, but even more inequitable because parents definitely can't participate. I can't go fly over there for a week to Orlando, Florida, and miss work, take time off to go to your nationals, to go to your junior Olympics, to go to your world championship. And so I wear this, and seriously, we give a brief little just acknowledgement to all the parents that are trying to make it happen. They're trying to get the kids to all of these tournaments. They're trying to be supportive and bring the whole family there. But the cost of doing so is just really too.
Well, it used to be when we grew up, there was a large number of college athletes that were first person in their family to go to college. I was the first person in my family to go to college. My parents are immigrants. So a lot of people first time going to college in their family. That number has dropped dramatically now, where most people who play college sports, their parents, one or both parents went to college, which means back in the day, people tapped you on the shoulder and, hey, gave you a little scholarship or whatever. There was a little bit of a hustle in trying to get one, but a lot of it was just you play and we'll find you. Now there's a pursuit and a plan in place of trying to get your kids. And people are realizing how valuable these scholarships are, both, just in pure dollars and just postgraduate value of having a degree, being a collegiate athlete and what that means. So you look at volleyball. Volleyball is a very, very, very expensive sport. Volleyball and girls basketball, I believe, are the only two full scholarship D1 sports. So the type of money that's being invested in volleyball by the parents, every volleyball scholarship girl, his parents have paid at least a year's worth of college during her volleyball career, if not more, to get her prepared for that day. So, it's amazing. But
yes or no, do you feel like when it's all said and done, you're still going through it in terms of girls volleyball with your daughter? You're still in high school, but you've got a son that went through all of it. And, in the green room, I'll just share, you talked about his AAU experience. But your journey ended successfully with a son that is playing college sports at a phenomenal academic institution. Do you think it was all worth it? Because I wear these badges of honor, or call them badges of dishonor. I feel like a fool that this little cheap plastic, that everybody who sees me looks at me like, is he tripping? They looking at me like, what's wrong with him? Not knowing that this is $300 worth of investment at random tournaments throughout the country, and you think multiply that by every weekend of every year, and think about the number that you spend on all of this. I ask you, was it worth it?
Absolutely. For multiple reasons. Obviously, my son goes to a school that he couldn't have otherwise been admitted to, and I couldn't have otherwise.
I ain't gonna let you do little reds like that. He could have been.
That's okay.
He'd have been straight.
He'd have been straight somewhere, but he's at a college. His specific college, he would not have been able to be admitted to, and his specific college, I can't pay for. So that's worth it. Let's put that to the side. Hard period, hard stop. The bracelets that you just mentioned, that represents time. And if you think about, my son is not a real big gamer. And a lot of it's because we were always on the road riding, going to some sports thing, and he really wasn't into games. Not to say that there wasn't guys on the team that were into games, but that really never got his thing.
Right.
But, on Sunday, I'm driving to Alabama 9 hours with my wife, my daughter, to take her to a camp to try to see if she can fight her way to get a scholarship. And we're going to go to 2 different schools and do whatever. I just think the bonding moment, of driving across country with her, being able to talk to her and just kind of get involved and play some music in the car and just jam with her for a little while, hang out, being able to build her up and kind of work on her confidence to see if she can go out there and do this.
Yeah.
Having her, being there for her while she's facing her fears that come along with this tryout. Hopefully being able to celebrate like nobody's tomorrow if something positive comes out of it and she is able to get an offer and watching her accomplish that. The value that is for our relationship long term, and her knowing when she gets older that I got her back and that I was there for her or whatever, she won't realize it now. She won't really care. She'll be mad that we don't get to stop at Chipotle versus Chick-fil-A.
Right.
She's gonna those things will happen. But when she gets older,
right now, right.
She's gonna look back. My dad came to all my games and I took it for granted. I didn't really care much. At 51 years old, you have no idea how many people say, man, I remember your dad used to be at all the games. Man, my dad never used to come to the games. People say that to me all the time. I took it for granted. I never really thought much of it at the time. my cousin, he's like, man, your dad used to come to my games, man. My mom and dad never been to one of my games, whatever, and whatever. So at the end of the day, when my daughter looks back and my son looks back and says, my dad drove across this country with me in gyms and this and that. I don't remember half of them, but he did this, he did that to spend time with me or to help me chase my dreams. Hopefully that means a little something. Hopefully that'll make them a better parent. Now, both of my kids, I wish I could have spent exactly half of the money that I did because I feel like they forgot half of it. So those tournaments, if I could have known up front which ones they were going to forget. But when I bring up something to my son about a tournament, he doesn't remember it, I want to punch him in the stomach. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that money I spent. You don't even remember.
You know what I went through to get there? Sometimes you got to get
I don't remember playing with so-and-so. I said, you played a whole season with him. You don't remember that? No, I don't remember. Yourself in the stomach. Give me my money back.
Look, it's the Ball Hawk Sports Talk where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we just wanted to at least acknowledge. And that's why I kept these on now for a while. This is track.
I think you should keep them to next year.
2 basketball tournaments. I got a 7-on-7 coming up. So it's basketball, football, and track all together. But on behalf of all of the wristband boys and girls, the parents that after spending all that money on the training, think about the layers of it. You're spending the money on the training. You got to spend the money in registration for each one of the seasons for the club, and they good with it. They got winter, spring, summer, and fall. You got to spend that to be a part of the organization. You got to spend the money to get to the tournament. You got to spend the money in the hotel, spend the money on the food. You got to do all of that. You got to do all of that spending. And then you get to the front gate to go watch your child that you then spent the money on the training, spent the money on the travel, spent the money on being a part of the organization, and they tell you that'll be $75
each. Both of y'all. Her,
both
him.
y'all.
Who else with you? Are those other 3 with you? I don't know anybody. I'm here by myself.
So on behalf of the wristband boys and girls of the world, we salute y'all, parents, for trying to make a way for your kids. I would suggest, like me, keep your wristband on. And when your son or your daughter don't want to wake up and train, when your son or daughter don't want to make up their bed, when your son or daughter don't listen when you tell them we got to do the extra work, reading, whatever it is, math, for school purposes, show them your wristband and let them know. Oh, you going to listen because I told you listen. Ball your fists up too like this. You gonna listen because I told you listen, and I done paid for it. I done paid for it. All right, I'm done. I had to get it off my chest.
This has been a soapbox moment.
Yeah, it was, man. Man, that's why I kept the respect. But that's funny. You like, man, you went to the hospital? No, I felt like I've been to the hospital. They've been poking me they've been hitting me with needles. They've been stabbing me all in the heart. They've been doing anything and everything. I've been to the hospital because it costs. But seriously, though, your statement about it being worth it is a reminder for parents what it's really about. Don't forget that, because the memories that the kids have of their parents, same thing is about the memories that the kids have amongst themselves. When it's all said and done, the business is going to be the business end of it. If you get a scholarship, you get $1 off of your tuition for high school. You are officially in a business relationship with that high school. As soon as you step foot on campus, when they tell you about the camps and they're telling you about the recruiting process, you are officially in a business relationship with that high school. So I urge everybody strongly, anyone who will listen, take full advantage of the fun part of it before it becomes a business. We're calling my football season unfinished fun, not unfinished business, unfinished fun, because I want these kids in their last year of youth football to enjoy the fun of it. But it's sure going to cost you something. I did want to today make sure that we touch on something else that happened in the summer. Because while going to these tournaments and hearing these people tell you it's going to be $65 to get in is the amazing sight and sound of the summer. Klay Thompson, who I never thought would part ways with Golden State, it will be splashing in Dallas. Your quick response to that when you think of Klay Thompson going to Dallas, parting ways with Golden State, a very amazing career. I thought the Splash Brothers would retire together. He unfollowed the Warriors on all social media platforms, so we knew that there was trouble in paradise. But now we know where that trouble has led us. It's Klay in Dallas with Kyrie, with Luka. Do you think this works out in their favor? and a Klay Thompson with a chip on his shoulder, so much so that he unfollowed Golden State in every aspect of social media. Do you think this works out in Dallas's favor and makes them a contender right away? A better contender, because they
went to the finals this year. Unless he can get Luka to play defense, I don't know what's going to really change. But I do think it's a great addition. You've got a guy that's a proven champion, a clutch shooter. I think both Luka and Kyrie were a little dry in the finals when it comes to shooting. So you just add one more person that spreads the floor out, because now you got to play, you got to close out on everything. So now there's, a lot more in the middle open. I think it's a great addition. Who can't use a Klay Thompson? I really don't know why the Lakers didn't pick him up. I don't understand if he was available, why they were not on the phone or interested. But hey, you know what? I guess Bronny is the new Klay. And
Bronny is the new Klay. Said no one ever.
Said no one. I'm the first one. I might make a shirt.
But you did mention Bronny, and I wanted to. We'll get back to Bronny. Let's talk about the first part of it. The WNBA signed a $2 billion TV deal, and it seems like
2.2. If you don't like the 0.2, then let me get your 0.2.
Business is booming in the WNBA, which is, we've talked about the WNBA since whenever. Before it became so popular to do, we were talking about the WNBA, trying to figure out how they could bolster their business itself. Now we're talking about the fact that their business has been bolstered. Business is booming in the WNBA. Shout out to those ladies. Shout out to them being unapologetically feminine and how they come to the games, right? Some of them, right?
Keep moving.
Move on. But it has been ladies being unapologetically feminine in their way that they are celebrating themselves and their style going to games. You're seeing them now as celebrities at different games. What do you think when you think of the WNBA and the uptick and the impact that this rookie class, right? Whether it be Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, you can't deny that there's been this wave of new interest when it comes to WNBA. The viewership has proven that. The games have been very competitive, but the quality of basketball is the same. The only thing that has changed is that we have finally acknowledged that indeed these women over here are balling and the business is now booming. Do you think that it will be a self-sustaining, independent entity, not reliant on the NBA in the near future based on the momentum that it has now? $2.2 billion TV deal is big time.
So just to be a little more specific with these, it's $2.2 billion over 11 years. So it's $200 million a year. The media rights previously were $60 million a year. This is part of the NBA deal. It's like the carve out, I guess you'd say, for them, since the NBA owns the WNBA. I mean, really, they lost $50 million last year, or they're projected to lose $50 million this year, which they say was what they spent on the Jets. I wish I had a couple of Jets, but they had just a few. You only got 12 teams. I was just a couple of Jets, but I'm getting sidetracked. I think my bad. But so now this makes them officially profitable. But you start saying, okay, what comes with that? Money begets money, right? So now you have $200 million a year that you're putting into this product. It's no longer this obligatory stepchild that you had, just sitting there that you didn't care about.
Right, a lost leader. It was a write-off line item.
A lost leader feels good, makes everybody happy with us. We're just going to make everybody happy. But now you actually put some real money in there, and now this league is going to be profitable. Hopefully, there's a little bit more money for the ladies in there because I
think you're breaking up a little bit, Flo. So let me just take a few steps back. You talked about
this profit. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. But I wanted to slow it down because you broke up a little bit. I don't know if that might have been reception.
Okay, no, that's my prepaid internet.
Prepaid internet. But I think what was important, you talked about now it's a real investment. And so worth repeating, a real investment means what? But their relationship, WNBA, NBA, and what the expectations are going forward now that there's this investment. I think we're having some technical difficulties with Big Flo. I'll give it a second. Yes, definitely technical difficulties, either on his end or my end. But he makes a great point. A phenomenal point is when the numbers start changing, the $2.2 billion and the $20 million a year investment now means the expectations increase significantly because the investment has increased significantly. So for all of us who have enjoyed women's basketball over the last several months, we've enjoyed this, to make the analogy, Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson moment with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. For all of us who've enjoyed learning new names in the WNBA, watching these women really impress us when it comes to their basketball prowess, we've got to do our part, because the investment comes with business expectations. The business expectations are only met if we continue to not just be here while it's trendy.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get off the train when the momentum is full speed. In fact, we've got to encourage other people to come experience this thing called the WNBA and watch this phenomenal basketball by way of either turning on the television or going to the game, or else those heightened expectations will fall flat on their face. So that's my challenge. If you've enjoyed it, bring more people to the table, and let's really support the business with our dollars, with our eyes, and not just our lip service.
Apologize for my technical difficulties. Just kind of picking up on where you left off. I think that the Caitlin Clark, the Angel Reese saga that goes back and forth, building up that little, rivalry that they have going. You equated it to Magic and Bird, which at the time seemed like a stretch, but just as time goes on, more and more things happen. Haters. I always say to my kids, if you don't have any haters, you're not doing it right. I got people I see online all the time. Caitlin Clark had 19 assists, which is the NBA record or WNBA record for assists. And everyone's like, oh, but she turned the ball over and they lost the game. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. There's haters. Somebody cares. And you're so mad that she did that you posted and you're adding to the popularity. But when you put the $200 million up where I was getting at before, is now you start saying, okay, this is a profitable entity. We're making them profitable. We're going to make it a little bit more competitive. You're going to start getting more and more people involved. Now the sponsorship dollars are going to show up. Now we have to actually promote this product. We're putting this money into it. We got to promote it. And you know what? I've watched at least 5 or 6 games this year, which is the most. It's just the same as I've watched in lifetime, probably in the 20 years existence of the league. We were in Vegas for a volleyball tournament, and one of the parents was like, "Oh yeah, I went and watched the Aces play against the Fever," and I was like, "Man, I wish I knew." I'm like, I'm over here mad that I didn't get a chance to go to the game, but like people are starting to make that one of the things that they want to go do. So, I think the fact that Caitlin Clark is slowly coming along and doing her thing, but didn't come in and dominate, kind of adds credibility to the league in general, because everybody that didn't know thought it could just be lights out when she showed up. It's like, no, there's a lot of good women out there. So it's a testament to the women out there playing the game. I just think people are starting to care. They're starting to check the records. I want to see the highlight. When the highlights come on, I pay attention. I want to see who won. I want to see who did what. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about the women that are out there and the talent level that's doing, the sub stories that are going on. I think with an 11-year commitment like it is, it should remain profitable for the foreseeable future. They're going to keep promoting it, and it's going to become better. The Caitlin Clark thing will kind of settle down a little bit, I think, unless she starts scoring points like Jordan all the time. But I just think that if you watch the game, you realize it's not bad. This ain't bad.
I thought that people who were calling for her to be added to the Olympic team were crazy. And now I understand how it could have been beneficial to add her to the Olympic team, because this momentum in terms of business being booming and willing, somebody willing to invest that amount of capital into women's basketball suggests to me, right, that we might see an even greater uptick in interest because of the Summer Olympics. We're going to watch basketball. Caitlin Clark being in the throes of that, I think, would have been even more beneficial. But shout out to the WNBA. The business is booming. Like any investment, normally you think buy low, sell high. We bought low in terms of Ball Hawk Sports Talk. We bought into the WNBA and talked about women's basketball at that professional level way before the trend started.
Mm-hmm. Now
that there's this investment, this expectation, will we sell high? Meaning we're going to sell because we don't think that there's much of there's no on road for upward growth at this point.
I would say that we're just at the foundation. I think that there's
scratching the surface. Wow. Okay.
I think so, because again, first it was just Caitlin Clark. Now Angel Reese. Now this. The names are people are just starting to figure out who the people are, and there's a lot better basketball players out there than Caitlin. And people, if you can enjoy Caitlin, you can enjoy some of these other people.
Right.
Somebody said that it was a big miss that they had. I didn't get a chance to read the story. They're not. Is this an All-Star weekend for them?
No, I think they're done. I think they stopped. So the women that are playing in the Olympics can go play, but they have a break.
But they were saying that there was a chance that they could have had like a Caitlin Clark, Anescu 3-point shooting contest, and they dropped the bag on that.
I'm not familiar with that story. I know that play has been suspended while the women who are on the Olympic team that play in the WNBA go and fulfill their commitment for the Olympics. Mm-hmm. That's what the suspension is right now. I don't think it's All-Star weekend.
When do the Olympics kick off? What are they waiting for?
Like any day now.
I mean, let's go. What are we doing? I'm not doing anything tonight. What are we doing?
Let's start. I wish it was that simple. But the other part of the WNBA, while business is booming, is that more eyes have gone to the WNBA because of, sort of the sex appeal. I guess that's the best way to say it, right? People are tuning in because
I've heard.
So you've heard, allegedly. But Angel Reese was spotted on I can't think of what game it was. She went to Summer League game. She's sitting courtside. Her and Kaiser Gondrazic, and Angel Reese has on the equivalent of, I don't know if actually, this is not even a bad term anymore. They call them this. She had on booty shorts. Right? Back in my day, you wouldn't even say that. You wouldn't call them booty shorts.
What'd you say?
You just say short shorts or Daisy Dukes, they would call them. You would get around saying the word booty. Now they embrace it. There's a section in most retail outlets. There's a section on any of the e-commerce
outlets. Booty shorts?
For booty shorts, yes. You can get.
I wonder if you can do like a parental thing. So like when my daughter shops, I can do like a parental so they
don't even show her these. Right.
Just filter them out. Just because she only shops.
But while she was wearing said booty shorts, it said a Summer League game, next to Kaiser Gondrazic, they went to the game with Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown, talking to both Angel Reese and Kaiser Gondrazic, says something to the effect. There's no sound, but with the high definition video capabilities out there,
lip readers,
it was easy to read his lips. And he essentially says, Bronny is not NBA material. He has since backed away from it. He said that, I don't think it was Angel Reese. It must have been Kaiser Gondrazic said something to the fact that, Jaylen Brown says, I don't think he's NBA material. She says, well, she believes he'll be on a G League team. Jaylen Brown fires back. Nah, he's going to be on the Lakers because of his last name. The sights and sounds of summer have really featured this back and forth debate as to whether or not the 55th pick of this 24 NBA draft, Bronny James, is qualified to be the 55th pick. It's qualified to be an LA Laker. It's qualified to indeed carry that legacy forward. Last night he had a big game. He had 13 points, 5 assists. But I don't think in the history of the NBA have we ever analyzed a second-round draft pick the way we are analyzing Bronny James. And yet, how dare we, in this episode of the Sights and Sounds of Summer, not touch on it here at the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. I think he's averaging about 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we see it? He has now garnered the most, for some of the sports books, the most bets placed for Rookie of the Year have gone to Bronny James. The odds aren't in your favor.
For all you guys in the betting social system, I'm also covering all bets for him for Rookie of the Year. I'll take those two, whatever.
Whatever it is, bet it all.
Whatever it is, I'll cover it. You don't even have to just write down on a piece of paper, mail it.
But Rookie of the Year, and superlatives have been notorious for being more of a popularity contest than a meritocracy. Who's more popular as a rookie?
That said, I still will cover all bets that nobody's going to be thinking about Bronny James rookie. He's not going to have enough minutes for Rookie of the Year. But at the end of the day, if you look at this draft, which is a very bad draft in general, there's a couple guys, I'm sorry I don't have their names, they're showing, they're like, Bronny, they were like, oh, Bronny was 3 for 12, and this guy was 0 for 15. There's a lot of people who went a lot higher than Bronny who are not performing right now. Unfortunately,
Alex,
Dayron Holmes blew his Achilles. I don't know if you saw that. Sconey's son. Dayron Holmes the second.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Dayron Holmes, one of our not really classmates, but classmates. I guess you'd say not grad mates, but classmates at Notre Dame. His son got drafted by Denver, and he blew his Achilles.
And he was probably like 18th pick. He was somewhere in there.
He was lottery, wasn't he?
Lottery. So all right. So that's big time. Very big time. He went 22nd.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
So not lottery.
Right outside lottery, but still. He went first round.
He's still not shopping at Aldi's.
Alex Sarr is the second pick that people have also said isn't putting up big numbers. But I'll let you go ahead. You finish the thought.
No, my point is just that there's a lot of guys who got drafted that if you looked at their stats and where they came from, this happens a lot. They averaged 5 points on the team that they came from. They didn't do whatever, and they just had upside. So, let's face it, they drafted LeBron James' son because LeBron's that great, and that's what he wanted them to do. And he's going to get every opportunity to develop and more. And he's either going to or he won't. He won't be the worst guy. He's definitely not the worst guy that has gotten a chance in the
NBA. There have been jokes made because Bronny went like 0 for 8 or something the first night. There have been jokes made, and I might as well just go here with it now. We might as well do the Ball Hawk Spotlight moment. Like, we got to at least acknowledge in this summer, there was an assassination attempt on a former U.S. president, a current presidential candidate. I'm just repeating the joke. I'm not telling the joke, but somebody said that Bronny must have been the shooter. That's how they missed. And so while we make light of things like that, it shows just the magnitude of attention that Bronny James is getting. And for better or for worse, we'll see how it plays out. I'm rooting for him. I'm actually rooting for him. So go, Bronny.
I'm rooting for him too. And I'm rooting for all those people out there that feel compelled to put a maxi pad on their ear in the show of solidarity for somebody who got shot. I actually thought it was a joke because I don't watch the conventions. I thought it was something trying to be funny Photoshop.
They're at the RNC with a bandage on their ear to show their solidarity with.
And it says fight, fight, fight. So I saw a meme I sent out to a few of my
that's smart though from a business standpoint. That's merch. They're selling it. They're selling the merch for the ear.
No, people just putting that maxi pad on their ear and they're writing and taping it like that. Real makeshift. So I sent it to a few of my Republican friends this morning, and I couldn't believe it because the meme was, these are the same people who thought the people who wore masks were sheep. And I'm like, if nothing says sheep like covering your ear in gauze and and duct tape and putting fight, fight, fight and thinking you're doing something when you have no injury on your ear, unless they're trying to clown Trump and say you're not hurt either. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there. We could do a whole show on the whole
conspiracy theories that have
on
been
the conspiracy theories there, and some of them, I don't know. It's crazy.
So instead, I'll do this because I don't want to make too much light of it. The Bronny James being the shooter joke because he's always gonna miss is entertaining, but I don't want to make too much light of it. The fact that we've gotten to this point in our domestic politics is sad, and so I'm glad that the assassination attempt failed because I don't want to see anyone taken out that way. I'm very upset that his failed assassination attempt ended in someone else's death, but I'm more upset that that's where we are in this country. So hopefully we can get it together and save ourselves. It feels like we're in trouble, and we can only be the ones to blame for that, because the more times you try to have a civil conversation about politics, the more polarizing we become.
Well, let's put this out there too, just because I think that some things can be missed. Again, I want to second your sentiment that I'm glad that Donald Trump did not get killed. I'm glad that he just got a little blood on his ear. I am upset that somebody who was just out there trying to express his political support with his family ended up getting killed and 2 people got hurt. I don't know how the condition of the 2 people got hurt. I think that they're going to make it, from what I understand. I may be wrong, but that's just senseless. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that it's turned into some political thing where it seems as if someone on the left shot him, because the guy that shot him was just a deranged fanboy, as far as I'm concerned. There's no manifesto, there's no thing. So I don't like blaming it on where we are in this country and what we are doing, whatever, because there's a million directions you could go with that.
Fair.
And I just feel like he got shot by somebody who's deranged. That shouldn't have had a gun. That shouldn't have did whatever, and it shouldn't have happened. The Secret Service should have got him before it happened. People were yelling that he's got it, whatever. That shit should have been. It should have been.
They have video of the guy on the roof.
Yeah, before, and people saying there's a guy on the roof. There's a gun. That was a big letdown. I think that's the biggest story here, because obviously the young man that I think the dad, I think he was the fireman that died, is should be the biggest story, but most people probably won't ever remember his name, unfortunately. But I just don't like it getting turned into. I mean, even the fact that people are wearing this thing on their ear and saying "fight, fight, fight." Like, who are you wearing that for? Like, what happened? Like, Trump didn't die.
Yeah, and threats of retaliation. And look, I'm not saying it cuts right down party lines. What I am saying is, even from a mental health standpoint, a deranged 20-year-old kid goes out there and does that because the environment that we have created, no matter what side of the political aisle you sit, right? We argue about sports. In this show, we always we refer to the environment of being in a barbershop and disagreeing about who's the greatest of all times. Is it LeBron or is it Michael Jordan? But it doesn't end in gunfire. So that's all I'm saying. And it's a sad state of affairs. So we wanted to at least bring light to it before we get to our last topic of the day, which is the top 100 athletes. ESPN
what number did I come in? I forgot. I hadn't looked at the list.
The top 100 athletes.
Yeah, what number was I in this? Was I at least
you were
in the 60s?
on there, but what happened was like they didn't have enough space.
Yeah, it was the font was too big. Okay,
but you was on there. You was on there.
I was under consideration.
But number one, and they talked about all the challenges of figuring out the number one athlete. But number one came in as Michael Phelps. Key accomplishments: record 28-time Olympic medalist, 23-time Olympic gold medalist, most gold medals at a single Olympics when he won 8 at Beijing in 2008. How do you argue that?
What about Ledecky?
Ledecky she's further down. Number 2, Serena Williams. Key accomplishment, 23-time major champion, second most by any player of all time. Women's record, 365 major match wins, 73 career titles, are 5th most by a woman in open era. Number 3, Lionel Messi. I watched in the championship, man, the Copa championship. He went down with an injury and was crying, man. And I got kind of emotional, man. 10-time La Liga champion, 7-time Copa del Rey winner, 4-time Champions League winner, 6-time Champions League top scorer, 17-time FIFA Pro World 11 World Cup winner, 2-time Copa America winner, 2-time FIFA World Cup Golden Ball winner, 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, record goal scorer for Barcelona and Argentina. When you start reading all his key accomplishments, I damn near want to move him up. Now, remember, it's since 2000. Number 4, LeBron James. You want me to read his too, probably. NBA 75th anniversary team.
I got those tattooed on my chest. Don't worry about it.
20-time All-Star, 19-time All-NBA selection, 6-time All-Defense, 4-time MVP, 4 times Final MVP, 4-time NBA champion, 3-time All-Star Game MVP. Number 5, our first sighting of a football player, Tom Brady. 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time NFL MVP, 2-time AP Offensive Player of the Year, 15-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first team All-Pro, NFL record for career passing yards. I'm just going to round out by calling 6 through 10, Roger Federer, 6, Simone Biles, 7, Tiger Woods, 8, Usain Bolt, 9, Kobe, Bean Bryant, the Black Mamba 10. Man, that's a good list. And yet you walk away thinking a lot of people got cheated.
You know what though? It's a fun conversation starter, and that's as far as I'll go with it, because how do you compare Simone Biles to Michael Phelps, to LeBron James, to Tom Brady? Like where do you put the comparisons? Like when you put those 4 people on a piece of paper, what are you trying to compare?
Accolades. And for you said Katie Ledecky, she came in at 15. Accolades. And they basically said that they were taking input. It was ESPN that did it. And they challenged voters to consider only athletes' performance since 2000. And they received more than 70,000 votes from ESPN contributors to create the top 100. And I guess maybe it's just how you feel. I don't know how you do it.
Well, okay,
really
so how do you
objective way to do it?
How do you compare like Messi that plays in a sport that probably averages 1.5 goals per game as a sport at the highest level, to football where Tom Brady might give you 3 touchdowns a game, or LeBron's going to give you 30 points a game or 28 points a game, whatever his average is. It's just so weird. It's fun to just kind of throw it around, and whatever your biases are going to show through. And then you got Simone Biles, that plays a sport that it's not points, it's judges telling you what you did. So it's not even like,
has never relied on the help of a defense. It's only her.
It's only her. And it's all a matter of, now she does stuff nobody can do. But then then we, the twisties is that kind of, I don't know. So it's a fun conversation. Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. I ain't mad at it. It is a fun conversation to see how people rank and why. I don't know if Simone Biles can be out of my top 3. I don't know, but
the last Olympics hurt her.
She came in at 7.
And
I love Tom Brady. I love the game of football, but who knows? But fun exercise. Shout out to ESPN. Since 2000, when you look at that list, makes me feel very old. And you think about, we just talked about Bronny James. Well, LeBron James' 20-year career started before Bronny was even born. If that don't make you feel old, I don't know what will.
Still doing it.
Like we ask you guys every week, please like, please comment, please share, please tag a friend, please tag a foe, please tag anyone that you know. It won't cost you anything, but you be doing us a huge favor. And I think because other people might come into contact with the Ball Hog Sports Talk, you'd be doing them a favor too. The Ball Hog Sports Talk is where sports, business, entertainment collides. Some businessmen get together. Some businessmen come together and discuss sports in an entertaining fashion. We do it one way and one way only. That's rough, rugged, and raw. We've covered the gamut of things in sports, business, entertainment today, and we did it from the bottom of our heart. So from the bottom of my heart, we ask you, like, comment, share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anyone that you know, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the podcast. We have gone through another episode. This Sights and Sounds of Summer episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk is yours to keep. And with that, any parting words before we get out of here?
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. Any money that you got to spend on youth sports this weekend?
Nope.
No, you good. You off the hook this week. If you're going to the tournaments, if you're going to the
I may not be going to the game, but I'm going to spend a lot of money driving down to Bama and paying for camps and do whatever. So it's only if it's not something.
Oh, you already paid. They only get, you know.
I already paid. Yeah, it's already on
paid.
my credit card. I'm about to pay that bill off in a minute. Yeah.
There it is, man. Parents, remember at the essence what is most important, the time with your children, and make sure your student athletes understand that student comes first for a reason. Get the most out of the opportunities, expect nothing more, expect nothing less, and the memories are what you're going to hold on to, not the business aspects of it. Those come and go. So with that, we is out. Peace.